This is the Roger Orozco Show.
All right, guys, welcome to the show. The star, Ashtin, special guest, Bejarano, Lopez, and I'm here with you guys. Hey, guys, special episode. It's a hot Sunday night. We wanted to go over the SUDA union contract. That's the teachers' union contract. It just got approved a little bit over a week ago, I think. It was a 4-1 vote. And we wanted to talk about it because the contract had an 8% with a 4% one-time bonus, so they say. But they had changed the salary schedule that gives a ton of money away now and in the future, man. And according to some of their paperwork that we got, it's around 73 people are going to get close to a $20,000 raise. So that's a lot, man. So that vote actually says that's okay.
Again, $20,000 raise for 1 year.
For this first year,
your contract.
Yeah, close to it.
Oh, okay.
Like 18 or 19.9 or something like that. So
Approximately
it's pretty close. Yeah,
20.
approximately. But it's a big chunk.
And what was the vote?
It was 4-1.
4-1. Okay, so.
And it was Mrs. Alanis voted no. And she even mentioned, what do our parents get out of it? What do our kids get out of it? You know, and everybody else just kind of sat there with the intentions of giving more money to the adults. It's the kids' money. So it's a 4-1 vote. So what we're going to do here is, Mr. Bejarano was a ex-SRO on campus for many years. High school, junior high, Heartland.
Yep.
Parent club president, not president, but parent club, school site council member, junior high. Gilbert was on the school board. I was on the school board. So we pay attention to what's going on. We walked the streets for some of these guys and advocated for others. And anyway, we're going to grade them now. After half a year, what they have done. And the biggest one was this union contract, because it sets it up for the future, man. I mean, they gave out a ton of money. So as we start, we'll go down the line, right?
Yeah, sure.
So, okay. So we're going to grade Mrs. Alanis so far.
Okay, I'll start. I served with Miss Alanis the second time I was on the board, and her stance has never changed. She's been diligent with her votes. She always puts, not just says it, but she votes kids first.
Exactly.
And she did that when I served with her. She's done it afterwards. Her stance has not changed at all.
Not changed.
My opinion. And it is kid first, not just the words, but she applies it with her vote. And that's why I feel she did not vote for that contract.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I give her an A. Her consistency and making our kids priority has been her priority.
Oh, great one.
From the beginning.
Yes.
There's no waiver.
No wavering.
And some people might complain about that, but hey, our Selma kids are priority.
That's it.
And shall continue to be priority.
Yep. So
In my opinion.
Yeah. So Mrs. Alanis, like you said, she's kept her word. I love that she said, right after she said, what are our kids getting out of that contract? She couldn't justify giving almost 20 grand to 73 people. That's a ton of money. And so she's always kept her word. She talks about the kids. It's not even including Measure L, right? She's the only one that kept her word on the salary issue that came up recently. So I would give her an A also. She's the only one to keep her word and to do what she said. So I guess that pin's dry, or Gilbert, got to turn it around or something. There you go. Yeah, good enough. So Mrs. Alanis gets an A by the, well, I don't know if you call it constituents, by the people that are paying attention, that are active, and love to put our kids first. So she gets an A. Second one, Fedor, Mr. Fedor.
Fedor, okay. Man, Fedor's somebody that I knew before the election. I agreed with him on a lot of things prior to him getting on the board. I do know the pressures of the board. I do know that all the people that try to get in your ear from everywhere. But for me, I didn't waver my stance. I knew what I had to do. I knew why I was there, and it was for the kids. And I didn't feel that I had to give put the adults at the front of the line to get better results for the kids. I felt the kids need to be in the front of the line.
Yes.
The kids need to eat first.
Yes.
And with the way he voted on this last contract, and giving more and hoping they do better, I'm not into that way of thinking. My way of thinking is the kids are at the front of the line, bottom line. And I think he changed a little bit. You know, the pressures of being on the board and people telling you this is the way it always is, this is the way it works. And, you know, you start listening to outside people, they change your way of thinking. And
A or F?
F.
F. Mr. Beirano?
It's an absolutely F. But it is sickening what he sat here with Roger, and Gilbert, and said, kids first. That is sickening. You lied to every constituent out there by voting the way you voted. That's all I gotta say before I
Yeah. Okay, so you probably give him an F?
Absolute F.
Okay. So Mr. Fedora knew for a long time his stance on this contract. I was pretty shocked. Well, I shouldn't say shocked. I thought he was going to end up voting for it because he got real quiet, right? I didn't hear nothing, and that told me, oh man, you're not advocating for the kids first. You're not saying nothing. Mrs. Alanis is saying it. So I kind of started thinking he was going to vote for it, and then he was real quiet, and then he did vote for it, which I was still kind of surprised because the guy I sat with for a very long time, I thought we voted against it because he knew about the Measure L, he knew about the salary schedule changes, which gives out a lot more money to the adults when it should be for our kids. That money is for our kids. So I'll just go and cut it a little bit short. I don't want to hammer him too much, but yeah, definitely.
Hammer him.
Definitely an F.
Yeah. Hey.
So my hammer would be an F.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely an F. Ash, go inside and get another black pen.
It's okay.
It's okay? Okay.
Caesar, there's one in
F?
the truck.
Yeah.
In the center council.
Okay.
Mr.
There's a
Sahota.
big marker.
Mr. Sahota. Okay. I served with Mr. Sahota also, and his stance was very similar to mine, I feel. But I think when the new board came in, different leadership took place, and his vote seems to have changed to me.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
totally different. Yeah.
Okay. And what caused that? I'm not sure. I don't know if it was the changing of the board. I don't know why it changed so dramatically. Because I felt aligned on a lot of things. Never did I have any issue with Mr. Sahota at all. I mean, but his stance, I feel, has changed a little bit, in my opinion.
Yeah. All right.
So he voted for the contract. I gotta say an F.
Yeah, I'm the same way along those lines. He was extremely for the kids at first. He talked that same game, but in my opinion, again, they crumble under pressure. Might be for personal gain somewhere else. I don't know. But that shouldn't be for our kids. Our kids should be priority, as always.
Yeah. I agree.
You're F.
Absolutely F.
Yeah. Yeah. So Mr. Sahota, I met. He was there with you, myself, Mrs. Alanis. We had a change of culture. Put the kids first. No one ever talked about the adults. They were all second. So he flips during this contract. For whatever reason, he flips. There is no. So to me, myself, there is no reason. It's actually embarrassing for him to vote for that. He knows it's bad. The last time I talked to him, I told him that's bad. You guys are actually going to go down as the worst. That's one of the worst contracts, and it's one of the worst because of the salary change. Salary schedule changes, and then adding a bonus after he told the people to pass Measure L. We were there when we said, hey, you're not going to get any more money because you're asking the people to tax themselves, and they did, and things changed. So Mr. Sahota, I like the dude, but I give him an F too. That whole little flip. Rosemary didn't flip. She didn't change. She even talked about, hey, you
Consistent.
told me,
Priority.
consistent.
Kids are priority.
Kids are priority,
Consistency.
and we told the community something. That's a big deal when the community thinks of you in a certain way, and then you don't do it. Same thing with Fedor, and now Mr. Sahota. I give him an F too. And we're the guys who are paying attention. We're the constituents. We were the big advocates who wanted to stand up for these dudes. But then as soon as they pretty much shut it down, didn't tell anybody where they stood, which was a sign, right? That's a sign. And then you go out and vote for that ridiculous contract, giving away tons of future money and extra money now to appease a union because you weren't strong. That's what it comes down to. They weren't strong.
Well, I think that's a tough word, Roger, but I think it might apply here for this gentleman.
Oh, man.
Because he said it in a meeting. He can't justify.
He said he could not justify that kind of money.
So
And
why
still
didn't he?
did-
So why didn't he vote that way? What?
Well, we talked about it before. The only reason, really, no matter what he says, is they look scared.
So he says.
They are scared.
So he says that he doesn't justify this contract, but yet
He
he
can't.
votes in that way.
Yeah.
Okay, so that right there, to me, is an F.
Yeah, it's an F. And
Because
I like Mark, but it's an F, dude.
right,
They're not
well,
doing good on that.
So you believe one way, but you're going to vote another?
Yeah. So you have
Isn't
to
that
have
what that says,
yeah.
Caesar?
You gotta have the courage.
He said it in the meeting.
No, absolutely, yeah.
So he believes how we believe, but yet he voted a different way.
Yeah.
Sad.
So
Yeah.
that's an F.
So with this contract, with the salary schedule changes, it gives a lot more money to the adults. Where you could have had a lot more money for our kids. What could you do for our kids for extra $1 million, extra
Right.
$10 million over 10
Right.
years or whatever? You know, I'm just throwing that number
Right.
out. But you got a ton of money in the future you could use for our kids, and instead they gave it to the adults. Who gets a $20,000 bump? Now they're saying it's 4% is going to go away. Well, we don't know if it is, but almost
It's
a
on,
$20,000.
it's on there until they take it away.
So they take it away if it's on the contract. So anyway, they just gave out a ton of our kids' money extra. And let me say this: last year in November, before these guys came on, these guys all came on knowing. We talked to them.
Yeah.
They all knew about it. And the board at that time was nothing higher than the 7-1, and that was even high. But they caved to that 7-1. What was I gonna say about that? So that was the promise, and then all of a sudden now it changes. They have the 4%. They change the salary schedule, and these guys, those four, allowed it. They allowed the extra money to go to the adults instead of our kids. They're supposed to be there advocating for us. Fedor's in my area. I used to talk to him all the time. He didn't talk to me. He knew I wouldn't accept that, and I think that's why. So Hoda doesn't reach out to anybody. Don't reach out to you or me.
Yeah.
Medina don't either.
Okay. A or F.
Oh, Mark, it's an F. That's
You're a-
horrendous.
F.
Easily F.
Okay. But okay, I want to add a point to that. They knew, Roger.
They knew.
That's the worst part.
They knew.
They knew.
They knew.
No excuses, man. There's no
And,
excuses.
and not only that, they knew the history behind it.
Oh yeah,
They might be new on the board,
but they knew.
but they knew the history behind it.
So
And
they-
that's what's
So they,
sickening.
Yes.
so they got scared,
Scared.
or someone,
Oh,
or
for
someone
sure.
scared them and got in their ear and said do 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 do, and instead of having to deal with it, they just went along with the flow.
They went with the flow.
They went with the flow
What
because
had been
it's
going on
easier.
forever.
It's easier to go with the flow than to make the stand.
Easier.
Oh yeah.
Didn't make a stand.
So they knew,
Embarrassing.
but they couldn't toe the line. They couldn't handle the pressure, and they were scared.
They were scared. That's what it
And,
comes
and
down
they
to.
can say, oh, legal or
No,
the district or da 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 da. No, bottom line,
We also know people that deal with legal.
there we go.
So
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, not only that, when they're afraid to even tell us, and you watch the meetings and they don't make it clear where they stand, that's a sign.
no, it's evident.
Yeah, it's
It's
evident.
evident.
It's a sign that they're weak.
Okay, we have one more, and
Yeah.
This
Go,
is just-
yeah, go ahead and start that. I'm gonna get you a better pin, man.
this is
But go ahead and start.
Caesar, get the one in the truck. There's one in the center console. Go around that way.
Yeah,
there's
Mrs. Kessler. Her stance has always been the same.
He's a union person.
Yeah, it has been that for 50 years. She's no surprise. But because she voted for the contract, I got to give her an F. Not as a person,
No.
but
No.
but her choice for the contract.
Yes.
As a person, Mrs. Kessler, she's an 8 to me, but she gets an F for the way she voted for this contract. In my opinion.
And in my opinion, man, I personally like these people.
No, yeah.
You know,
yeah.
and this is business about our kids.
Right.
That's what it's about. It's not personal attack on anybody.
Yeah, no, yeah. These are 3 fathers that are active,
Absolutely.
Well, that are paying attention.
paying attention, and want our school district. We didn't want them to vote for that contract.
And you have been at that table. I have been at the table. You have been super involved. So we know what these guys are dealing with, and it surprises us and disappoints us.
Yeah, disappointing
that they're allowing the adults to be at the front of the line and putting the kids at the back of the line.
Yeah, that's what it does, and it starts with the money. You have extra money. The extra money's for our kids. That's taxpayer money.
Yeah, and
that's not even going to. That's not even talking about Measure L yet, man.
A, F for contract.
Oh, so what are you saying? You saying A for because she's a good person?
Yeah, she's a good person.
Well, they're all good people. I would have just left F, but
no, but we know her stance. I've always known her stance. She's never changed. These guys have changed.
Now let me.
She's been the same always. She's been the same always. But these 3 have changed, and I think they folded.
No, they did fold. Now here's something that's interesting, and I think it's a different angle. But you saw it when you were there, right? So you saw there was a big difference with, let's say, like between, not to read myself into it, but myself and Mrs. Winters for a long time.
Yeah.
There was a whole different views, and she, to me, in my personal opinion, was more, and maybe because her husband was a teacher, was more unionized, man, with that group. Towards the end, this last year, we were all gelling. She came out, Mrs. Winters herself came out and said that first offer, or that last offer of the 7-1 in November before she left, was fair. It was comparable to all the other districts, most of the districts at that time, and it was fair to these guys. These guys have been taken care of. She said that. So we all gelled on that 5-0 push. Now, even though we know Kessler is 100% unionized, union, if Fedor, Sahota, and Medina would have kept a strong stance with the Alanice, it would have been hard for Kessler to be that 4-1. She probably would have gone with it. And why do I think that? Because of the wrestling thing. Remember what happened in the wrestling when you went up there? You said, "Hey, the kids deserve it," and Roseberry was like, "Hey, would anybody back me up, second it, to put it on as an action item?" And no one said anything. And then they come back after that, and then it does get on the what do they call it? They end up voting for it to be put on the
agenda.
On the agenda. And then when they vote to put it on the what's that? Not the committee.
Oh, the master plan?
The master plan. So they all vote unanimously to put it on the master plan. So you see,
put it on the back burner.
Yeah, on the back burner.
Mm-hmm.
But you see what happened is it would have been hard for one of them not to join the other ones.
Right.
That's what it probably, in my personal opinion, I think Kessler would have went with the other ones if it would have been 4. The 4 would have stood strong.
I can see that. I can see that, but I could also see,
but maybe not.
Who's the strongest out of all of them?
Oh yeah, Mrs. Alanice.
Because she stayed consistent,
kept her
her word.
So what happens when they don't keep their word?
On priority to her kids.
Yeah, Mr. Fedor, and he might say something like, "Well, I didn't actually say that." Whoa! You sat here like you said. You knew what we thought. You knew. They knew. Mark knew too, and Nick knew too. And they still said, "Hey, look, man. There's only a few people paying attention. We'll burn. That bridge is gonna have to burn. It'll be easier on us to cave to the adults." That's what they did, man. So.
And that's okay.
No, that's
because not
okay.
everybody's gonna stay in office forever.
No.
They'll be replaced.
Oh, dude, we're gonna go after all those guys. I don't even care who runs against them. I'm gonna go after him, bro. Because to me, you gave up your integrity and your school board member integrity, right? You say kids, but then when the biggest contract comes with all this extra money, you give it to the adults.
Because the adults came and scared them.
Scared them. And that's the only reason why, right?
How can you be scared, though? I don't understand.
Well, see, that's something, too. It's hard for me to understand.
Well,
but that's the only excuse.
Because who they're talking to, their leadership is telling them offer
So,
this, blah,
yeah, yeah.
blah, blah,
So
blah,
instead of
blah.
them leading the charge.
union, instead of them leading the charge for your kid, they let the district
Tell them.
how to vote.
See, there was a difference. She stuck to her ground.
But they don't realize they don't work for the district.
They don't work for the district.
The way
That's
it's
what it
set
is.
up
Sorry,
is that we elect them to represent us because we got to be at work, and they go up there and represent our kids.
Right.
But they didn't do that.
No.
They didn't listen to the parent.
No.
They listened to the district
And what they should have done.
and the adult.
Yeah.
My opinion.
Yeah. Medina should have came out and said, "Hey, Caesar and Gilbert, you guys are, constituents. You know what? I'm not going to be able to do this, man. This is why." And if you would make sense, then you would think about it. You don't make sense, then hey, man, sorry, Mark, but you're full of shit. That's the way that works. Same thing with Fedor. I mean, but what they did is, hey, we're not going to tell you till it happens.
Yeah.
Coward
That's
status.
a coward.
In my opinion.
Yeah,
coward status.
Yeah, that is, man. I mean, what else is it, bro? You should be. So this is my opinion. We were there, dude. I would have been proud. Like, hey, I ain't voting for. Like Rosemary did.
Wait.
I ain't voting for that. What
She'd been
are our
saying
kids
that
getting out of it?
before,
yeah.
What are our kids getting out of
You
it?
could have asked you at any time, any day of the week, how you stand, and you would have said it.
Yes.
Same
dude.
here. Same there.
Yeah, same right there.
With this right here, we don't know.
Yeah, we didn't know with these dudes.
Well,
Why? Because
Well, it
what's
depends
the-
on
scared.
Who's the last
Scared.
person to talk to them.
Flavor of the day, man.
Flavor of the
You know what I
day.
mean? That's the hard part to swallow.
At the end of the day,
So that's why you get
she kept her
A,
word.
F, A, Elenise, F, Fedor, F, Sahota, F, Medina, F, Kessler.
Says it. And that's coming from the three guys that pay attention, that are active, involved, and want our kids first. So these guys, to me, they just destroyed themselves. They talked. I heard him talk one time about legacy. Your legacy is union. You gave that union, and you put our district in jeopardy in the future.
Well, in my opinion,
When we say district, we mean the children.
Children.
and not only for this generation,
Oh yeah.
it's for the next
forever.
Oh yeah.
You know?
So what happens now? You get these high wages. Now what? Now you'll see management's going to have to go up. Management's going to go up. And I already heard one thing when they talked about programs. Well, we don't want to lay off people, man. We got to watch out. And then there was a comment made about, well, we'll do programs first.
Wait. Programs? You're going to hurt our kids.
First.
The hell
That's
you
what they
talking
would do
about?
before layoffs.
Was that on a video? Was that on school board?
Yep, it was a meeting, man.
What the?
It was, yeah, it's disturbing. So that's the mindset. It's horrendous. So and I know what they're probably being told, and this is an educated guess, but there was tens of millions of one-time money, right? Millions of one-time money. I don't know, I can't remember exactly what it was. Tons of one-time money. That money was for the kids. It should have been used for the kids. It was promised to be used for the kids, and we needed more to fix the school. So let's get Measure Out. So then when they turn around and give out a bonus, change the salary schedule, you pretty much screwed us. We were there. We knew what was said. We knew the direction, and they flipped it. So these guys are responsible for the flip, for the taxpayer being burned right there, those four. Those four. And I know all four of them, and I like them. I don't care if they don't like me anymore, but Fedor, Sahota, Medina, Kessler screwed the taxpayer, in my opinion. That's my opinion, dude.
Okay. It's a wrap.
Sorry, man, I got a little animated there.
Okay, that's all right.
And it's okay because it's the truth. I just want to reiterate again.
If we're wrong.
There's a new administration. If we get something wrong, please get a hold of us. We don't want to say something that's not true. And if we do, please let us know so we can correct it.
Yep. And thank you, Mrs. Alanis, for always keeping your word. Man, I don't know. I'm going to walk the streets for her, man.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Everybody else, I don't support anymore.
I'm
That's a strong
embarrassed.
statement. I'm embarrassed.
I'm embarrassed.
Not only that, I don't know if those guys realize when you come to our house, you put signs up, we go to doors for you, we talk to everybody we know for you, and then we tell them, hey, they won't support something stupid like that, blah, 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 and then they do. You made us all look bad. You know, now I feel like I have to go and apologize to everybody I know. I'm already apologizing to my neighbors for these guys.
And honestly,
Sickening, man.
And honestly, Raj, I feel
Used?
bad for the kids.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the.
Hey, I'm a man, hey, whatever.
Right, that's
but
the thing.
that's what bothers me.
That's the only reason why we're here on this hot Sunday evening.
Hotter than shit, getting bit by mosquitoes.
Is trying to let the public know
What they did.
what they did.
Yeah, and as being active as you and me, that their first half semester, they failed. Mrs. Alaniz kept her word, only one. A. Everybody else has failed. They failed, man. And they failed us, but they failed our kids.
Our kids.
You pulled money from our kids.
Our kids, our community, our parents, everyone. Everyone that
Then-
voted for them.
Oh, and then there was a statement. There was a statement at the last meeting. Oh, this is just the start of great things to come. For who? The union?
For the adults?
For the adults? Because that's what it's been. We haven't even talked about Measure L.
Wow.
I mean, that Measure L was a burn, man. In my opinion. So anyway,
All right.
is that a wrap?
Yep.
It's a wrap, man. All right, guys. Hey, please like, subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.